the Spot with Michelle McCory is brought to you by Swan Bitcoin.
Hello, I'm Michelle McCory. Thank you for joining us. In a major shift, Saudi Arabia has let the petrodollar agreement expire, opting to sell oil in multiple currencies instead of exclusively using the US dollar. The agreement of the past 50 years expired on June 9th. Now, the so-called petrodollar deal reportedly stipulated that Saudi Arabia would price its oil exports exclusively in US dollars and invest its surplus oil revenues in US Treasury bonds. In exchange, the US would provide military support and protection to the kingdom. This helped the US dollar cement its position as the world's reserve currency and ushered in an era of American prosperity. So Saudi Arabia, now looking to move beyond an exclusive relationship with the US, marks a significant change in global economic dynamics and could have far-reaching implications for the US dollar's dominance. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia's central bank has also joined a trial for a China-led central bank digital currency cross-border payment system known as Project Enbridge. And this could be another step towards less of the world's oil being traded in US dollars. And this all happens as the de-dollarization trend continues, with the BRICS Plus ministers of foreign affairs recently meeting in Russia. Members reiterated calls to ditch the dollar and use their own currencies in trade and financial transactions. And it's arguably the weaponization of the dollar after Russia's invasion of Ukraine that has accelerated the trend to de-dollarize. And as the BRICS members were meeting in Russia, in Italy, leaders of the G7 were also meeting, and they agreed to issue $50 billion in loans for Ukraine that are backed by the profits of frozen Russian sovereign assets. Now, ahead of the summit, the United States decided to expand sanctions on Russia and China. These new measures target Chinese companies that support Russia's efforts in Ukraine and aim to deter foreign financial institutions from dealing with sanctioned Russian entities. Now, this caused an immediate suspension of trading in dollars and euros on Russia's leading financial marketplace, the Moscow Exchange. And Russia has also now officially adopted the Chinese yuan as its primary foreign currency. And this all comes as China has been dumping its dollar assets. Beijing sold a record $53.3 billion worth of U.S. treasuries and agency bonds in the first quarter and has been piling into gold. The precious metal now makes up almost 5% of Chinese reserves, the highest since at least 2015. Now, not only are central banks buying gold at record levels, but they're also reducing their share of US dollar reserves. According to the IMF, dollar reserves held by central banks fell to 58.4% during the fourth quarter of 2023. That is the lowest level in 25 years. Well, here to discuss all...
Yeah, this is Obadiah. Chapter 1, verse 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, right? So, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? You have had a perpetual hatred towards your brother, which is so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, right? Because you are our evil twin brother, right? And you put us in the ghettos, the barrios, the reservations, right? Because of your hatred towards the blessing that our father has given us, Isaac, right, from long ago. And your thing is to get back the blessing, but it's not going to happen, right? You made your bed and you have to lay in it, and that's that. And not to mention it was already ordained from the Most High. But as you perpetuate, right, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. See, ultimately the Lord had already chosen who was going to be, but now there's an adaptation to what's happening to you, right? And thus shall be cut off forever See, it's going to come a time where you don't exist at all, right? So with all that, I want to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the elder apostles in Connecticut, the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching the truth of sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful the elect, shalom. Shalom to the elect out there. To the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, you Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. Yep. So this is your brother Aram Yehawada with the lesson. Right. So this is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? Right. So, hey, there's nothing like um, not being able to be an asset to someone that all your things are searched out. And the main thing is searched out by the prophets. Through time and through the prophets. And the Lord said that your tongue shall fall upon you. Right? And as you can see, these things are starting to take place where even the Saudi Arabia, which was a great ally unto you, right, is saying, hey, look, there's no need for you, right? How are his hidden things searched out? And ultimately, it's by the spirit and the power of Yahweh Basham Shai. But through that, the men of the Lord are are able to discern, have the eyesight, the discernment to break down the scriptures, man. And the first thing it said that he will come out red all over like a hairy garment. So we know that this Esau happens to be the self-proclaimed so-called white man. And his traits says that he was a cunning hunter. That was one of the things he loved to do. He was an outdoorsman, a hunter. And that's this self-proclaimed so-called white man. He likes to eat things half cooked and bland, no flavor. Right? That goes all the way back to Esau, eating uncooked lentils. Right? 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 That's where you get the word. That's where you get the name Edom from, because they were red half cooked lentils. Right? Edom. Right? So it describes your characteristics. Half cooked lentils, half cooked steaks. You do a lot of different things, right? That's weird. You know what I'm saying? You eat with the blood. The Lord says not to do it. You do everything opposite of what the Lord say not to do. Do not build house to house. You do that. The Lord said, if a man lie with a man, it's an abomination. Hey, let's let him be married. So we know that you have to be Esau, because you're showing it so forth. And not to mention, a lot of your people have the Lord said, the scripture says that their tongue shall fall upon them. And we've seen the head FBI agent say that we brought in drugs to kill the so-called blacks and Hispanics. So, which basically the blacks, Hispanics, and the native Indians, right? Why? Because we're the Israelites. Your things are searched out, man. You're sought up. You have a perpetual hatred towards us, right? And we're in the hoods, the ghettos, the barrios, the reservations of America. Those things are searched out. And we're seeing what all the men of thy Confederacy, right? And Saudi Arabia was confederate with you, right? France, even France, who's supposed to be part of NATO, is basically ditching the dollar too, right? These are people that's part of your confederacy, who's been so-called friends, who's helped you around the world in certain battles and fights and this and that, and even going around the world helping you rape the people, the innocent people of the villages and stuff wherever you go, right? It says all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. Hey, and that's what it is. They took you as far as they could take you, and it's like, hey, we don't need you no more. And that's what's starting to happen, man. They starting not to need you anymore. And the men that were at peace with thee, have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They against thee, they that ate thy bread. Right? See, it was telling you that what Saudi Arabia was protected from you militarily. Now I can think about. When I go back in my mind, I can never think about when Saudi Arabia had some type of a wild bomber or some type of attack on them. Why? Because you were protecting them greatly, because that was of great importance to you to make sure that you protected Saudi Arabia, right? You ever heard anyone ever say they went up against Saudi Arabia, right? Ever? But they brought you to the border. Hey, it's like, hey, we gone as far as we can go together. We're done, right? You know what I'm saying? It says, yeah, they ate that bread and laid a wound under thee, and this is definitely a wound to your economy, right? By saying that they're not gonna make it the primary currency of trading. It puts a wound to this economy, which we know a lot of this is just it's controlled opposition, but nevertheless, we as prophets, we're just prophesying what, hey, the news, that was just the news. They're showing you, and they're telling you in a way to just kind of make you believe these so-called narratives, which some of them are true, some of it's true, but it's all uh, in a pursuit of something, in the pursuit of the new world order, the pursuit of the charagma, the engraphol, the charagma, the charax, the engraphol, which is the mark of the beast, by the way, right? It's all part of global dominance, right? Universal basic incomes, right? So, but it does lay a wound into the economy, which really gonna hurt the people, the citizens of America, more than it's gonna hurt the elite. But it's laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, and mostly it, there's no understanding in the general population of America. There's no understanding, but there's no understanding in Esau just in general. You're elite. You think you're playing a game, but this game that you're playing, it's a deadly one. And ultimately, the Most High has already laid out the playbook of what you're gonna do, and you're doing it on key, right? So you're gonna be destroyed playing this deadly game. But you have to play it because this is the scripts. You're in the Lord's movie, right? Yeah. So this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee, right? For you, Esau, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, to meet thee at thy coming, right? You finna be in a hellish condition, because hell is technically the grave. So it is going to be a great number of your military and you Edomites are going to die, but there's a great number that's going to go through hell, which is slavery, right? And before you even enter into the slavery, you're gonna have to go through what? Starvation, the race wars, right? Apparitions, wild beast, right? Pestilence, right? There's a grave amount of hell you're going to have to go through, because hell also means the grave, but it also means a condition. So this condition is coming to meet you, right? At thy meet thee at thy coming, it stirreth up the dead, right? Right? Hey, right? And how do we stir up the dead? Because in one way, a lot of your old secrets and things you thought was long gone because a person died and you weren't going to have to pay for it, or people weren't going to find out. Some of those things are going to start coming up. Who, uh, how you uh, raped Jake, how you raped the men, how you did the Native Americans, how you hung them upside down and split the woman's wound open, stomped on the baby's head, fed it to your dogs because you ran out of food. You fed it to the dogs, fed the baby to the dogs when you ran out of food or dog food for the dog, right? These they found that ship over in Mexico, that slave ship, right? You don't really talk much about enslaving and taking so-called Native Americans or the Mexicans on slave ships, but they found that slave ship in New Mexico. I mean, in Mexico, and yeah, the Lost Luna Stone in New Mexico. That's what I want to say. The slave ship in Mexico, the Lost Luna Stone in New Mexico, the 800 or so uh, Hebrew stones that were found in Puerto Rico. So these things are starting to show up, man. It's being sought out, searched out, brought up. Wait, who? Wait a minute. Who are we? Wait a minute. Wait, that more do look like our nationality. The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the Israelites. Oh, okay. Oh, they are hiding it. There's something that you know. There is a perpetual hatred. There is a violence that he has towards his brother, right? Because a lot of it don't make sense why they hate you so much, right? But now it's starting to be seen, right? And even their tongue is starting to fall upon them. For thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. See, and a great chief one would like one of the ones that what's his name? The president of Egypt, Abdul Nasser, said they left black but came back white. That was one of the chief ones, but they're going to be a lot more, right? Because once Saudi Arabia and all these other places, and you don't have the money, the funds, and things that you used to have, and nobody's scared of the big bad wolf anymore, right? Because you know, you got China and Russia together, and got all these other militaries. Hey, and then your own people that you're an ally with, they're pulling back. They're dumping the dollar. They're pulling back as far as their military. Oh, you know what? We'll give you the guns. We'll dump the guns in Ukraine, but we can't help you, right? Hey, this is a lot of things that yeah, even all your chief ones of the earth, right? And Saudi Arabia, that's a chief one, right? For them to just say, hey, we ain't gonna use the dollar like that no more, and we're gonna use all different currencies, and that's just a play on the thing, because it may come a time where the only currency they use is China too, just like Russia. Russia's only using China, right? So That's the big uptick, upswing towards everything that all these places they're gonna make China the world currency, right? Which they already kind of been saying that, you know. So it have it haveth raised up from it haveth raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. See, they're all coming against you. All the other kings of all the other nations, they're going to come against Babylon the Great, which is America, right? Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right? Even though Russia's, they're Edomites, but the Lord's using them. The Lord is using them, right? So Esau can take out Esau. So Satan can come against Satan because that's how they're gonna fall, right? Right? If Satan come against Satan, their house can no longer stand. And what comes with not being able to stand? All your secrets, all your little things starts falling out of place, right? Putin comes out and shows you his deep archive of true biblical history, showing you that who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ is a so-called black man. Hey, he didn't give you the real name, but we're giving you the real name. His real name is Yahweh Shai, right? So, you know, that's your chief ones, hey, coming upon you, right? All these nations, and all they shall speak and say unto thee, or thus also become weak as we. When your dollar, when they laying a wound under you, because they're no longer using the dollar, that's a wound laid into you. Now you're becoming weak as you're becoming a third world country. You're not this great country anymore, right? Or thus become like unto us. You're just a third world country too. You're not a big deal anymore. Yeah, yeah. Thy pomp is brought thee down to the grave, right? Right? Like I tell you, hell is the grave, right? Gave you the definition right there. And the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, right? Decay, right? Your country, right? They've been saying it for years. It's going into hell. It's going to hell in a handbasket, and it is. It's, every year it's like it's decaying. It's the worm. The morals is lower. The expectations is lower, right? You don't even have to have high expectations to get into the military anymore, right? You know, even the police force, so-called police, right? They don't have high expectations. Hey, spend 6 months in the police academy, and hey, you're hired, right? See, that's that worm, the decay of this nation, and the Lord said that the love of many shall wax cold, and that's the time that we're coming in, and the time that the love of many is waxing cold. Yeah, the worm is spread under thee, and the worm cover thee. And to the point, it's going to be no denying that you're a third world country, right? Because once that inflation hits, finito, you're done, right? How are thus fallen from heaven, right? This you're ruling everything. You're on top of the world, you're doing all these different things. Hey, right? Especially the Amalek. Amalek is going to be definitely in disarray when he's actually fallen, right? I bet you he ain't gonna be able. It's gonna be beyond unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? But then they do believe it, because why get bunkers? Why get all these different things if you don't think that this is gonna happen? Just in case? No, the Lord said it's gonna happen, man. You're gonna come down. All your elites, this secret, so-called secret society, right? How are thus fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, right? Lucifer going into light bearer, right? The Illuminati, right? You're the one who holds the light, right? That's your great secret, that you're the one who have the light and other people are in darkness, in which they are. That's what the scripture says. Gross darkness to people. And you could see what's going on. You could see the chariots. That's why you had no choice but to admit that the chariots exist. And the salvation of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are at hand, right? For the elect, for those who come back and truly dedicate themselves to Yahweh Bashem Shai. And really, it's the elect. You have to be already predestined, pre-chosen. But hey, there are men that's predestined, pre-chosen, and showing forth dedication towards the power of Israel, the true Israel, which were people before a place and were scattered uh, amongst all the world, but primarily here in America and Babylon the Great for a punishment, man, right? For a punishment. Say Ephraim and Judah shall be oppressed together. How can you be somewhere else, but then Ephraim's out in the mountains of Mongolia? This is what they come up with. But the scriptures tell you that Ephraim and Judah should be oppressed together, right? Under oppression, right? And then there's no greater oppression than this American oppression. When you're in the Nevados, the ghettos, the reservation, and then you're taught you have to love the person who put you there. You got to join their military. You got to join their police force to somewhat even be looked at as I guess kind of normal or okay. But even then, you join those, especially for a so-called black man, you're still all sorts of nigger and coons and this and that in their police force, in their military, right? So there's no, hey, son of the morning, how are thus cut down, right, to the ground, which did weaken the nation. See, and through Amalek, the small hatters, the so-called Jewish people, you're going to be drawn out. The least of the flock shall draw you to be slaughtered, to be cut down. You're Illuminati. You being Lucifer. You being the light bearer. It's going to come to an end. Ruling the whole world. Satan coming against Satan. Hey, your house cannot stand. Right?
The dollar would collapse. The stock market would collapse. The bond market would collapse. Banking system would collapse. The insurance companies would collapse. Everything. This is the Great Reset. Little by little by little, I call it logarithmic decay. Little by little by little by little, it starts to chip away as those dollars are no longer, there's no longer a necessity to hold them. And as those dollars start to come home, inflation rates would go higher and higher and higher and higher. But when the world catches on that this is a trend in motion that isn't going to stop and will only get faster, that's when things get very interesting. And if we were to see an outright dumping globally, like in Operation Sandman, as Mike Adams talks about, it would be chaotic because the natural reaction of the dollar creating hyperinflation being dumped across the globe, hitting our shores in a tsunami of inflation, would be a massive spike in interest rates. And the over-leveraging of the banks in particular is a real big problem here. When they say it's time and they flip the switch, I think the West will have a hard time to push back against it because you will be talking the majority of human population, a larger military might, a larger portion of GDP, and the majority of the world's commodities. I think they realize that if they're going to do this, they need to be methodical about it and have all their ducks in a row. The question is, how fast does it accelerate? And that's anyone's guess.
Yeah, so this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. I'm going to read it out of the KJV, but it's the amplified version of the KJV. It says, moreover, wine is treacherous, which dealing with the philosophies of Esau, man. So that was a so-called great philosophy to tell Saudi Arabia, hey, you only use our dollars and we'll protect you militarily. Nothing will happen to you, this and that. so on and so forth, which it benefited Saudi Arabia. but the men that were Confederate you have led you to the border. Hey, they've ate, they have their fill. Hey, they're done with you. They see that the change in the so-called global climate is not favorable, right? And because you knew you had the had you had the position of that everybody had to trade in US dollars for oil. You use that as a thing to say, hey, we can just keep reproducing it till that the dollar basically means nothing. So this, I mean, they're looking at it like we didn't agree that you were going to do that. So that's why they're leaving you, right? It's treacherous and betrays, right, the arrogant man. See, and it betrayed you. You have the world currency. Hey, I'm just gonna keep reproducing the dollar. I'm gonna go around bullying the whole world, right? I'm gonna set up my military here, set up my military there, right? But it betrays the arrogant man. It betrayed you technically, so that he does not stay at home. See, that's what I'm saying. And so you had your military. So now you're putting up a military base over here, military base over there. You're doing this, you're doing that. You're even going around the world, so-called police in the world. You even have goddamn what's it? I just did a lesson on it. You even have Kenya over in goddamn Haiti trying to police them when they have no business trying to touch the Lord's people, man. And I mean, a lot of them ain't the elect on this side, but they're still they're still the Lord's anointed, regardless, right? And yeah, the Lord see it fit for you to do this, but know that see it fit that the Lord is going to recompense that unto you, right? Right? Because you won't stay at home, and then you got all these other nations following your pursuit. You know, you created a same-sex marriage, and you got what is it? Is it the Philippines? The Philippines, they just passed it like a year or two ago. Now same-sex marriage is legal, right? You leave a stain, right, wherever you go. It says his appetite is larger than Sheol. Sheol meaning the grave, right? Right, and your appetite is for what? For gold, silver, precious, precious metals, or whatever of whatever type, and whatever land that you go into, even oil or whatever it may be, and you go around the world bullying the people. You don't stay at home, but that has it's deceived you. It's it betrayed you, right? Because hey, you're coming to your ultimate end. It betrayed you. This is what the Most High is saying. He's word for word, man. And this is what's playing out, right? Right? As large like Sheol, and he is like death, right? So everywhere you go, all you do is bring forth. You're just like death. You bring bad news, right? So who wants to deal with you now? So now you bring death, bad news wherever you go, right? The whole world was locked down under the CV-19, under these things that, like I said, we know this is all a movie. It's a script. You're playing out. You think you're playing out your part, but really you're playing out the part that the Lord wants you to play out. To think to think that you're ahead of all this, right? The deceive and the deceiver are his, which is the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You belong to the Most High. So technically, according to these scriptures, you're deceived, right? Because you think you got it like that, right? Never satisfied, right? You just keep on grabbing, getting, and you're ruling the world pretty much. You got your so-called Illuminati. You got you're Lucifer. You're the light bearer. You know what's going on. Everybody's in gross darkness. I mean, you can't leave well enough alone. I mean, you got more than hearts can wish, right? But hey, that's not enough. You need the like was it Revelation 18? It says and even the souls of men. So you want men's souls, right? Right. Under the charagma, you're gonna have even the souls of men under the charagma, under the mark of the beast. If you know what I mean, if you don't understand, right? It says not satisfied, he gathered to himself nations, right? And America's in itself, or even Britain, Spain, France. These are all so-called melting pots where all these different nationalities are under this one place. And then now that they're complaining about it because people are coming in and they don't want people to come in because this and that and another, right? Whatever reason they may be, because it's hurting their economy. But at the same time, you want it to hurt your economy, right? Abraham Finkelstein didn't say that he's trying to brown up the country and send more people over here so it collapsed the industry, the medical industry. Because now what doctor's going to go be a doctor for free? What doctor's going to be a doctor when there's pestilence and death and murders and all sorts of things, when he has to protect his own family? You know what I'm saying? We're going to run out of doctors and things, and it's going to be every man for himself real soon. Helter skelter. This is what they're preparing for. This is why all these so young military age men are coming in through the border, and so-called there's no way for them to stop it. But yet they got all this great military power. Come on now. Come on. If you believe it, hey, you mean, hey, gross darkness to people. If you believe it, that's on you, right? Nations and call collects to himself all people as if he owned them, right? Whoa, right? Mark of the beast, as if he owned them, right? And that's what they're saying. All you other people are just cattle. You're useless eaters. That's why you can go around the world bullying the world and be betrayed by the point that your dollar is the world currency, or that you're on top somehow. But the Lord said he's going to put an evil thought in the mind of the chief prince, right? The chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, right? Which goes into it being Russia, right? 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 And the current king or whoever it is, which is Putin, Vladimir Putin. However, if I'm saying it incorrect, oh well, whatever. But he's not playing around, obviously, right? And you want all people to be unto you, and that's what you're doing. That's what the mark of the beast is all about. That all people are unto you. That's why you got your militaries everywhere too. That all people belong to you, right? Going around the world, policing the world, because everybody belongs to you, right? And in verse 6, will all these victims, ooh, wow, right? Because ultimately, that's what everybody's a victim of white supremacy, Edomite supremacy, should we say, right? Of his greed, right? Hey, we're all victims of your greed, man. You can't get enough. You're as the grave. You're as Sheol, and can't be satisfied. You're just like the grave, right? Not taking up, shouldn't be not taking up. It should be taking up. It should be taking up taunting songs against him. But I'm gonna read it how it is. Not taking up a taunting song against him, and in mocking, right? Derision, derision against him, right? Say, woe, woe being what? Woe, which, hey, what is it? Judgment. Woe being judgment is come to him who increaseth, right? And that's what woe means. Woe means what? Destruction, weeping and gnashing of teeth, judgment, judgment unto him who increaseth that which is not his. How long will he possess it? Right? How long will you possess it? What? The world. You're ruling the whole entire world on both on all spectrums, right? You're the Edomites. Even Vladimir Putin is playing a game, right? Because he's part of the Illuminati. He's part of the Freemasonry. He's part of the secret society, and all the governments are part of the same secret society. But something's happening. Some type of shift is actually taking place. Though they still keep kind of playing this little game. But the thing about this is that the nuclear missiles are real. The guns are real. The missiles are real. The bullets are real. When people die, it's real. And what's more real is the power that's all behind it. Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, is more real than you can ever imagine. Right? You're not going to possess the world for much longer. And woe, which means judgment, right? Judgment, destruction, punishment, weeping and gnashing of teeth, right? Unto him that maketh himself wealthy with loans. So if you're loaning everything and by or getting loans, right? Because the guy they was just speaking about how China loaned America a lot of money, 50 something, $56 billion, of debt China sold to someone. I mean, how you did that, I don't understand. Why would anyone buy that? How could you sell it? As much as you're trying to do de-dollarization, who would buy the de-dollarization? See, this is how you know they're playing a game. It doesn't make sense. Who has enough money that they bought? Who bought it from you? It didn't say that. It just, when you watch the news, it said China sold 50 something $billion of U.S. debt, which is loans. So even in that loan, and because you have the U.S. currency, it betrayed you. But you're getting loans, and you're getting this, and you're getting that, and yeah, you loan other people money, but most of this stuff is by credit. Everything is credit and loans, and when you're loaning or getting loans, you're putting yourself in debt, right? Because the thing goes into thick clay right here. So Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. And then right here it says, how long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay, or loans, right? Or getting loans, right? And we're going to that thick clay. Salakia, clay, a batyat. And thick clay is what? A wage, a wet, a weight of a pledge, a pledge, something you exchange, like a pawn shop. I think they even give you that narrative, that understanding. So, pledging of a good, hence large, loaded of debt. See, which one has contracted, right? A large debt. See, that's America, has contracted a large debt, right? Oh yeah, right here. Ponded goods. Slacky, I didn't even notice it right there. Ponded goods, right? Yeah, so with all that, I'm gonna give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, the elder bishops in Connecticut, the brothers, the the bishops, the priests, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching the truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom, to you sisters, you Akhwatium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence and above all.